I'm just getting ready to oven dry some tomatoes I picked, and I seen one. I try to check it in the morning and at night to see if there's any of them getting white or starting to rot, so I can pull them off. I'll cut it out and eat it. I'll cut out the bad stuff, and then I'll eat the tomato. That way, I don't go bad around everything else and leak juice. Well, I found one leaking juice around everything, and if you ever realize, once they start leaking juice, if something sits in that juice, it starts to get infected too. And I was wondering if plants they have a they spread easier because they're genetically uh, they don't have a defense. Of course, they don't have a defense, but what I'm saying because you buy tomato plants that have resistance. But what I'm saying is the DNA in like humans, to be able to fight off a disease or a virus like we're doing with this coronavirus. Some people it doesn't bother, some people it kills. And that's all in the DNA, same as a plant. Because if that stuff oozes into another tomato, sometimes, more than likely, it will, unless you wash it off right away, it's going to it's going to like change it to cause it to rot. I mean, you could have like perfectly put a rotten tomato and a perfectly good tomato right next to each other, and if you would left the good tomato alone with nothing around it, it would have been fine. But you put around this rotten one, it automatically picks up that stuff even after it's picked. It's not pulling into the it's not pulling in from the vine anymore. It's not pulling in from the roots anymore. But I mean, it's kind of odd that you think of it that the DNA of a plant is just like a human. So you could do, or I mean, the what is the RNA of a plant or any of the biological makeup of a plant, has the same tendencies as humans. So what they ought to do is say test cancer on say like poison ivy, something that nobody wants around. Even though, I mean, it's find out what cancer, what cancer. I'm not saying just cancer, just whatever, leukemia, whatever. But I'm not really talking about that. I just kind of it's just kind of weird. I thought that how plants are just like humans in the aspect that they pick up disease or virus or whatever the same way as if their DNA is not attuned or it's not evolved enough, then it's going to pick up. Yet you got all these animals that are walking around. They aren't affected by any of this stuff. Like swine aren't affected by swine flu. Apparently rats. I don't know if rats get bubonic plague or not. They might. I guess if fleas bite them, whatever. But I just thought it was kind of just in a moment. I was like, wow, that's weird. Plant, if they haven't evolved enough, they can't defend themselves against even the slightest attacks. Yeah. And with that, I'll close with whatever happened to England. DNA, didn't they? Wasn't they starting to change DNA of babies born there to make them healthier or something like that in Britain? Whatever happened to that? I haven't heard anything about that.